I grew up knowing this iconic name,
Karl Kani.
seeing celebrities rocking it, and hearing the name in songs.
And at 10, 11, 12 years old, we was all out there making money, only for one reason, to get money, to get clothing.
In this episode, Karl shows us how an immigrant childhood
You saw fashion, you saw jewelry, you saw nice cars.
opened up the opportunities to pioneer one of the world's greatest hip-hop fashion brands.
We did a $43 million a year business. We had 15 NBA players wearing my sneakers on the basketball court.
He takes us through the roller coaster highs of being one of the richest black men in America,
How old are you
I
at this
was
time?
like 28, I think.
to the lowest of lows that took the brand out of the market for almost a decade.
Dudes are taking my same exact look, same exact vibe, and killing my own stuff.
He is a true inspiration and a symbol of innovation and the determination to always rise again. Hi, my name is Leah MARVILLE, and on paper, I've achieved many things that one would think should equate to success and happiness. But what if I told you that for many years, behind the facade of my life, I was carrying a deep pain? As I continue to search for my own truth, I will share the incredible stories of the people that crossed my path, with the hope that you find inspiration, courage, and peace along your own journey. Life for sure will give you lemons, but we can always make lemonade. Today I feel honored
Thank you.
to be sitting with someone I consider, and the world considers, a living legend and icon in fashion. The originator of streetwear, if you please.
There you go.
Yeah. And the CEO of hip-hop influenced fashion line, Karl Kani. And if you've grown up in the 90s, you must have heard the name somewhere in a song, or you've seen the clothes on the backs of celebrities like Tupac, Nas, Aaliyah, Michael Jackson,
Biggie,
Biggie.
JayZ, Rihanna, the name goes on.
The names go on. To grow up hearing about you, and then to be able to sit with you is truly an honor. It's a
Thank you.
blessing. And so thank you for sharing this space with me. I think Karl is a great guest because he's a great messenger of innovation, of strength, and of renewal.
Yeah.
And so we'll get straight into his story. I like to start at the beginning all the time. You were born in Costa Rica, which many people don't know,
Yeah.
to a Panamanian father and a Costa Rican mother. And then you moved to the US when you were 3 years old.
Yes.
So tell me what your childhood was like, being an immigrant family moving to Brooklyn.
Yeah. Basically, when we got here, my dad, he actually got to the United States 6 months before us
Right.
to set up a business first, and then he sent for me, my mother, and my sister. So my dad was always a businessman, always like hustling and doing his thing. So like when he sent us for us, we ended up moving to Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn, and I just remember my dad having a lot of jewelry and fancy cars, and he opened up his own business. It was a typesetting company, and he got like 6 major banks as his clients, and he was doing typesetting for them. And he named the company after me and my sister. It was called Karl Kani Composition Service. And my mother was a registered nurse, and she was working at Brooklyn Jewish Hospital. She used to get up like 5 o'clock in the morning to do the morning shift. So all we saw was like hard working as
Right.
youth, and a lot of times it just used to be just me and my sister at home, and our parents used to be working all the time. So that's what we saw in the household as we was coming up.
And you were born Karl Williams.
Yeah.
Your birth name is Karl Williams and not Karl Kani.
Birth name was Karl Williams. Actually, my dad changed our name to an American last name when we moved to the United States. My family's last name was Casanova. And
Where did he get that from?
well, that was his family's name. It's Casanova.
Oh my gosh.
And he changed it to an American last name. My dad had vision, like he was like, we're going to America, we're going to make it there.
Right.
He wanted to give us an American last name and speak English, and that was his whole philosophy in making it in the States. He had vision as to what it's going to take to make it here.
Who was Karl just before you started the brand? What was the mindset of a child not having an example of clothing lines existing at that time, because there was nothing of the sort in
Right.
existence.
Yeah.
There was no social media, there was no fashion branding, there was no streetwear, there was no hip hop influenced style or anything like that. So who was Karl before, you know, before it came about?
Well, basically, you know, when we grew up, my dad used to get his clothes made by a tailor. So we used to go with him, me and my dad used to go to Delancey Street in Manhattan to buy his fabrics. And then we used to go back to his tailor in Flatbush, a Haitian guy named Jack, and Jack used to make his clothes for him. So I kind of used to see the process of my dad. He used to pick out his fabrics and bring it to another person. And the other person made the patterns and came up with the garment. So it kind of showed me how you can make clothing without really knowing how to sew. You can just have good ideas. So my dad wanted his clothes made a certain way because he used to wear like these fitted pants, and he used to flare out at the bottom and had 2 little coin pockets on top, and they didn't have them in the store, so that was his style. So that kind of was my first take into fashion, like seeing the process of making clothing. So we saw hard work, dedication, but at the same time you saw fashion, you saw jewelry, and you saw nice cars. So you kind of got a mixture of a lot of things in one
So
sense.
style was like in your blood.
Yeah, style was in it, because that was big for my father and the friends he used to hang out with. They were all about fashion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then, so it continues. So you started making your own clothes, and then how does it go?
Well, before that, my mom and my dad got divorced when I was in the 5th grade. So at that point, we ended up moving to the projects in East New York, in Brooklyn. And that's when fashion became real to me, because before then, we just kind of, clothing was not that important to us. So the first day we moved to the projects, I was really excited to go outside to meet all the kids, right? It was 50 buildings, 20 stories to each building. So there's a bunch of kids in the building. They all used to hang out in the shopping center. So the first day we moved in, I just wanted to hurry up and get my clothes unpacked and move out there and meet the kids. My mother's like, where you going? I said, I'm going to the mall. I gotta meet all my new friends. So I go out there, threw some clothes on, and I go out there to meet them. And I thought I was fresh, right? So I go out there, and the first thing the kids do is size me up, looking at my clothes, right? They were like, you the new kid in 8-3, right? I was like, yeah. It's like, man, what kind of sneakers you got on? I was like, I don't know, these Skips. They're like, man, get the F out of here. Them shits is whack. They come from the grocery store. Your clothing is bullshit. You better get out of here with that stuff. This shit is garbage.
That's your first encounter?
First encounter.
Wow.
I went home crying to my mom. I was like, Mom, look, I need some money to buy some clothes. These kids are laughing at my clothes. They said you bought my sneakers from the grocery store. I need some money. I was like, boy, you better go out there and find yourself a job. You get one pair of sneakers for you, you're lucky you get that. You know, from the islands, they don't care.
Yeah.
You know, my great grandmother from Jamaica, so you know, this is a whole. It's still in the blood.
Yeah, if you want anything extra, you better go work for it.
Yeah, you should be able to find a
what
job.
You talking about?
So what did I do? I refused to go back out there to that mall again. I would not go through that again, and that was such an important part of my life because that changed me.
Right.
Because I refused to go back out there, and I needed money.
Right.
So I saw this newspaper truck one day, and I saw this little kid go to the newspaper truck like he was working. So I went up to the truck. I said, "What's going on here? Like, what's this kid doing?" He's like, "Oh, he has a newspaper route." He says, "Actually, we're looking for some more kids to deliver newspapers in the morning." He said, "If you're interested, we can hook you up." But he says, "But you got to get up. You got to deliver newspapers before people go to work, like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning." I said, "I'll do it." It started instilling business in me, and I was able to save up enough money to buy me some Pumas and a Le Tigre short set. I went to the flea market, and I bought that, and I took it home. And I just kept thinking about those kids that was laughing at me. And I'm thinking about what they was wearing. I said, okay, I put my sneakers on, my short set, and I'm about to go out there and meet them and see them again. Now I'm nervous.
Brand new.
Yeah, now I'm nervous though, 'cause I didn't know if this is acceptable or not. Because this is all new to me, right? So I go out there again, and the kids, same kids. It was almost like it was a motion picture. Same kids in the same spots. Ain't doing nothing, just all of them there. I go again, they was like, looking at me again. It was like, shorty got the Pumas on. Oh, okay, I see you. You fresh.
And that was your validation.
And now I was accepted.
Wow.
So now I realize how much fashion meant to kids in the city, in the streets. Like fashion meant everything to them, and that was my wake-up call for me.
Right. Was your dad in your life still at this time?
At that time, no, he wasn't. He had left. He moved with somebody else. He moved to Miami. He had another kid. He's only used to come around once a year at that time. He really wasn't doing a lot for me at the time. He used to give us $100, and I thought he was the best dad ever in the world, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I learned so much from him in terms of wanting the best, because he always wanted the best. So that much I did learn from him. But as far as him being there, he wasn't there at the important times of my life when I needed him there. But when he left, it kind of helped me because I became a man, you know, because my mother was working all the time. I just became my own person.
The man of the house.
Yeah,
almost.
I became my own person, because he wasn't there. So I grew up really quick.
Right.
And all my friends, at 10, 11, 12 years old, we was all out there making money. Either we was selling fake jewelry, packing bags at the grocery store, or delivering circulars, delivering newspapers. Everybody was doing something to hustle, only for one reason: to get money, to get clothing. That was all it was about.
Right.
We was all broke, but we had fresh clothing on. That's all we wanted.
Because that was what was important to
That
you.
was important, yeah.
But also, you knew that you had to do it yourself. Like, no one was going
Oh,
to.
no. My mom's very, very clear. She ain't doing nothing for me. So you
Right.
got to go figure it out.
Right.
I'm a hustler right now. I'm a registered nurse. I'm trying to make it. And the key about it was my mother kept me and my sister in Catholic school.
Right.
While they live in the projects, she kept us in the Catholic school. So we was able to, like, go to school with Indian kids, white kids. Even though we lived in the projects, we saw life sort of a little differently because we were able to be around other people. So we're able to know that they're no different than us. You know what I'm saying?
So
Important.
do you think all of that holistically informed how you started the brand and how you rolled things out, essentially?
Absolutely, because what happened was, as I started getting comfortable into fashion, me and all my friends used to shop at the same stores, so we all used to try to outdress each other. So if I found something fresh, I'm not going to tell you where I got it from. Right. We were very bold on that. We don't want nobody copying our stuff. So one day I thought about my dad's tailor. I was like, man, if I make an outfit with my dad's tailor, none of these guys will have it. It'll be fresh and be different. So my dad came around once again, 1 year for the summer, and gave me my same $100. And this time I had a plan. I said, Dad, look, I want to make an outfit with your tailor. Can you take me to buy some fabric so I can make an outfit with your tailor? He's like, you want to make an outfit? I was like, yeah. He's like, okay. He took me to Delancey Street. I bought 5 yards of linen, and I took it to his tailor. But at the time, my idea was to make the clothes a little bit baggier because we wanted more bigger clothing, but it wasn't in the stores yet. So I just tailor kind of just increased the leg weight, the leg size on it. And at this time, we was all going to Jamaican clubs. It was Love People, Village Hut, like Jamaican influence was very big on the streets. So when I wore that, everybody's like, yo, where'd you get that from? That's so fresh, that's so dope, where you get it from? So you know I'm not about to tell them about my tailor. I said, yo, if you want one, I'll make you one. So at this time,
You're a little hustler, though.
oh no, I always hustling. Oh, absolutely. We don't give them no secrets. So dudes used to actually give me wads of cash, and I want 3 of those. Give me 2. I want it. How many colors you get that in? 3, 4. So at this point, I had all these dudes' money. I didn't know what to do. I went to this tailor. I said, look, man, I got these guys' money. They want these outfits from me. I don't know their size. I don't know anything. I don't know. What am I supposed to do? Tailor told me, calm down. He says, go back to them and ask them if you could borrow one of their outfits that fits them. And I'll take the measurements from their outfit and we can make it that way. And so that's how we kind of did it. So I started becoming that guy in the hood that was making custom made clothing for a lot of the street dudes.
And you were like, what, 16?
I was 16 at this time, yeah, 16 at this time. So I was making a lot of custom made outfits for a lot of dudes. But more important, the most important day was after my name, not my name, but my clothing started to get out there. We was dressing a lot of Jamaicans, a lot of Trinidadians, a lot of the people.
So
from the
this is everybody in like Brooklyn, pretty
everybody in
much.
Brooklyn, yeah, probably Brooklyn. We was dressing all them. We were sitting in the park one day, and this guy walked by, had one of my outfits on, and I was bragging to these girls, saying, "Yo, I made that outfit for him." They didn't believe me. So they was like, "You ain't make nothing." I said, "Yes, I did." I said, she said, "Tell him come over here then." So his name was Joe. He comes over. She's like, this girl named Keisha. She says, "Well, who made that outfit for you?" He was like, he's like, "Karl made it. Why? What's up? Like, why you asking me?" She's like, "Can I see your jacket?" He takes it off. He shows it to her, and she's looking at it. She's like, "Yeah, well, if Karl made it, how come his name ain't on it then?" And that's when it hit me. So after she said that, I went home and I started thinking about a name for my brand. And then I was like, okay, I want to be a designer. I wanted to be like Ralph Lauren.
Right.
Because that was the brand. That was a brand that we all couldn't afford, but we do everything to get that brand. You know what I'm saying? As young kids, we wanted that brand so bad. So I wanted to be like him. So I was like, Karl Williams jeans, it didn't have a ring to it. Can I, was a question I used to ask myself all the time, like, can I do this? Can I be successful? can I come from the inner city and build a brand that other guys are going to want to wear? And I used to write the word can I on a piece of paper, just subconsciously doing it. And one morning I woke up, I saw can I, see N-I on a piece of paper, and I seen Karl's script on a piece of paper. And I put, Karl Kani. So I called up 3 of my friends and I said, yo, there's this designer called Karl Kani that's making some dope clothing. I said, have you guys heard of it? Of course they said no, because it didn't exist.
Right.
But then I said, what do you guys think of that name? I say, Rod, that name sound kind of cool, man. Yeah, I like that name. So 3 of my friends who don't like nothing said they like the name. And I was like, okay, cool. That's gonna be my name. So that's when I said, okay, that's gonna be it right there.
You know what I find interesting about Carl Williams at this age is that you remind me of the guy who is, you know, there's always this one person in school who is always up to something. You know what I mean? Because here it is that you are creating a clothing line. You're getting things made. You're not telling anybody. No. So, you know, you're keeping that part of it secret.
Yeah.
You're doing market research.
Yeah.
You have no formal training or anything like that, but here you're doing market research, marketing, and sales.
Yeah.
Without even knowing it at 16 years old.
Yeah.
Where do you think that, like, where does that come from? Do you think it's something innate in you, or?
Yeah, I think it's just the hustle mentality where we grew up. There was a lot of pressure where we grew up at, and it was always competition. And it was always like trying to be better than the next man. And we just dealt with a lot being young, because even when we got money, we had to travel on a train through Bed-Stuy, Brownsville, to get to Manhattan to buy clothing, and the drama was getting home without getting robbed. This is young, so those things, that's what we dealt with, but that was just normal. We knew going out to shop, we had to be prepared to how we get home. Sometimes it takes certain routes to get back home just to derail the gun guys from sticking you up, because they see your shopping bags, they're gonna get you. Those are things we dealt with, so it's almost like humorous to us, but those are the things that built our tough skin. You know what I'm saying, as young. So all those processes we went through just helped build our character, who we are. So when we finally got into business, like, there's nothing anybody could throw at us during business that we can't deal with, because we dealt with so much.
I read somewhere that you said a friend of yours passed, and
my friend
and it
Delroy.
was a turning point.
Yeah, my friend Delroy, he passed away. We were supposed to hang out with each other in Long Island. He was hustling out there, and my dad was in town. I couldn't go with him, and he got really, really mad at me. And he said something really bad to me on the phone that really bothered me. And the next day, the night he got killed, and I just realized at this time I needed to change, because this is getting crazy. A lot of people around us were either getting killed or going to jail. It was just getting crazy. And a friend of mine's, AZ, who caught a case in New York, he moved to Orange County with his brother. He called me one day, he's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing this clothing thing. He's like, you should come to LA, man. I'm telling you, our head's gonna blow up. He's like, you should come out to LA. I'm telling you, you can get paid out here. And that's what brought me to LA, because he called me up, and I was like, I wanted to get out of New York anyway, so.
You felt like you needed to leave that.
I needed to change, and I had to, because it was too much happening too quick, and
it was a fast life.
It was very fast, and you felt like something was gonna happen. Yeah, you felt it was gonna happen. I felt like I really want to focus on this clothing thing. I feel like I could make this thing happen if I could just lock in. I couldn't do it living in New York at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, guys, he moves to LA with $1,000 and this big dream.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, I've moved around as well. I recently moved to LA. Moving to LA with $1,000, it's. I mean, back then it may have been more than what it is now, but it really is nothing in the grand scheme of things. And I know that we glorify moving to a new country because we're going after our dreams, so it always looks like it's big and bright and beautiful. Yeah. But there are challenges to it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Tell me, what was it like moving with $1,000 and a dream?
It was tough, but you know, it's funny. When you're actually going through the process, I didn't even look at it as being tough. I just looked at it as just what it is. This is reality of what it is. Because I looked at it like, what's our real options right now? Like, you know, LA, the weather is good, and the climate seemed good. So I was like, oh, we could hustle here. So it was just really taking a New York hustle and bringing it to LA. That was really the key. So we ended up moving to LA. We opened up a store on Crenshaw Boulevard. It was Crenshaw on 43rd Street, you know, a couple blocks away from Nipsey Hussle's store.
Right.
And we were connected to this beauty parlor called Maxine's Beauty Parlor. Maxine was like a street lady. She was a hustler. She had a beauty parlor there, and she gave us a little section next to her store so we could sell our clothing out of there. And we hadn't had no money, so we couldn't pay the rent, so we ended up living inside of the store. And we couldn't even afford McDonald's breakfast at the time.
Wow.
We were just dead broke, because these dudes out here, they weren't buying nothing. They bought zero. They were into that gangbanger clothing, and that's it. They didn't buy none of our linen suits, none of that stuff. They were like not into it.
Right.
Some gangbangers came into our store and robbed us at gunpoint.
Right.
They took our sewing machines, they took all our samples, and we had nothing. So we had to like find out how to hustle now and make it money a different way.
So then what did you do?
Yeah, what we did was, we had a plan. I don't know if you remember this hip hop publication called Ride On magazine. That was the first hip hop publication before Source and before Vibe. It was called Ride On and Word Up magazine. So I went back to New York, and I went back to some of the same dudes I sell clothing to and borrowed some money from them so we could place an ad inside of the magazine. I figured like we need to like spread my clothing out there more.
Right.
More people need to see it. And I knew all the kids read magazines, and so I figured, okay, let's put an ad in here, and other kids will see it. And we did 1-800-221-KANI, and how I was able to survive was we were selling catalogs for $2. Let me tell you what our catalog was. Our catalog basically was we take a camera, and we hung the clothes up on the windowsill, and we took a picture with the camera, and we wrote a style number in handwriting on top of each style, and photocopied it for 2 cents a copy, and we sold the catalogs for $2.
Wow.
So we're making a $1.98 profit off of each calendar, and kids were selling in tons of money to buy this catalog, right? We weren't making a lot of sales, we were selling a lot of catalogs though, right? We were able to start getting the brand name out there and started hustling, selling the catalogs. And then one day what happened was, my friend AZ, who I told you about, he used to go to the clubs all the time, hang out, and he used to hang out with all these dudes in LA, street dudes, stuff like that. So I never used to go out. I used to be in an apartment just focusing on business, thinking about what to do. So one day he said, yo, Karl, you should come out tonight. This company called Cross Colors is having a fashion show tonight at the Palladium. You should come hang out. I was like, no, I don't want to go. He said, no, you should come, man. You never go anywhere. Just come tonight. I was like, fuck it, I'll go. So I go, and Cross Colors was another black-owned company at the time, and they were well financed. He came from the garment business. They knew the industry. They knew how to get the banks to finance your orders and stuff like that. And we were just basically hustling out the apartment, not really making a lot of money, but we were moving.
Right, one step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time. Well, accepting each moment, and I would talk to you about what I mean by accepting each moment, because this is how I realized that that's really what life is about, accepting each moment that comes your way. And
You think you knew that at that time?
I didn't know it at the time, but I was doing it. But now I reflect back then as to how that philosophy just works, you know. So we met the owner of Cross Colors that night, and he's like, yeah, you know, I heard about your stuff, I saw your ad, but we're in the middle of a show right now. If you want to talk, come to my office tomorrow, we could talk. I remember it was 1990 or 91, Martin Luther King Day. We go to his office, and Cross Colors is, you know, about clothing without prejudice. It was a black-owned, you know, because back then that's what the culture was about, black-owned business and things like that. So when I met him, within the first 10 minutes, he goes, yeah, you know, I heard about your stuff, and, you know, if you need some help, I'll be willing to help you out. So that's not what I expected. That's what I was looking for him for. I was wondering, why would he ask me that? And he said, yeah, you know, if you want to become partners, we could do that. So my heart started like beating in my chest really hard. Like, I never felt that way before. Cause I was like, is this guy trying to steal my stuff? Like, cause where I'm from, no one just offers you that.
Right.
And just want to help you out. It doesn't
And
sound.
did it feel like it was bigger than you a little bit?
What do you mean?
Did you feel like, because now it's like actual business, you're partnering with somebody?
Yeah. I just kind of
Or you
felt
were
more
just
like he
more
was
worried.
trying to steal my stuff.
Right.
That's all I was thinking. Like he was just trying to steal my stuff. And that's really the first step on us becoming big, was when we got with them. That was like our first thing, because we were just basically hustling out the apartment, just trying to figure it out, not really making money and just starving really. But we had the momentum, we had the name, we had the brand, we had the logo, we had everything set up, but we didn't have the financing behind us at the time to do it.
So this changed the course of things?
It changed it, because when we first got with them, within the first 2 weeks, we got our first $3 million order from Merry-Go-Round. just like that.
So when a $3 million order comes in, like what did that feel like to you?
It didn't feel like anything.
What do you mean?
Just didn't.
So, what do you mean?
I don't know. I just felt like, okay, let's go. Like now I want to go.
Did you have a vision of this? Did you see yourself being this big brand, or are you just, again, was just taking it one? Do you think it's sunk in?
I don't think it's even sunk in yet.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I just felt like this is where I'm at. Let's get it now. Now I stepped it up a notch. So my focus, everything, I turned it up 10 notches now, because now I'm seeing the reality of how this could work.
Right.
But I never overspent. I never did anything. I was kind of like just following Karl's lead at the time. You know, he had a Range Rover, I wanted a Range Rover.
Right.
He had a house in the hills, I wanted a house in the hills. You know what I mean? So like, I remember he used to get to the office by 8:30. I made sure I was there every day before him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I just like saw certain patterns and certain people, and I saw, okay, this is the way how you make it. So when I saw him there at a certain time, I made sure I wanted to be there. I wanted to show him like I am committed to this.
So you get this $3 million order, right? And people are essentially now looking and searching for Karl Kani.
Yeah.
What is the essence of what they're searching for?
I think what Karl Kani did was it gave every kid on the streets like reality, like, yo, if he can make it, I can make it too. Like, if that dude could do it, he talks like that, he comes from where? And his education was what? Like, bro, we're gonna do it too. So like, by our success, we opened the doors up for so many other we changed the trajectory of so many other young black people who never would have thought they could be a fashion designer. Because I always tell people all the time, it takes one person that looks like you or talks like you to achieve something in a certain area to make you feel like I could do it too. And we did that with fashion, because before me there was no other young black person from the streets that did that. And I tell people all the time, just imagine there was a young kid from the inner city that, you know, started making toothpaste, right? For example, let's say he made some toothpaste and he marketed it towards hip hop and became a millionaire just off of toothpaste, right? Do you know how many kids right now would want to try to do toothpaste?
I know.
Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Because now they have an example.
Yeah, because but if a white person do it, you think, oh, that's just white folks. That's not for us, man. Nah, we ain't gonna achieve that. You know what I mean? Like before me, there was no other black person that actually put their own name on clothing and sold it. Yeah, there was Dapper Dan, but Dapper Dan was using Gucci and Paul was using somebody else's name on stuff. But it's different when you put your own name and convince people like, yo, I want to wear this dude's name. That's dope. That's fly. And not only that, our clothing wasn't cheap. Our clothing was very expensive when we first got it. I only used the best quality stuff. Our sweatshirts like $90. Our jeans are $100. Like our stuff was expensive. It wasn't like we was overcharging. It's because that we wanted the best quality. It was quality. So that's why you don't see a lot of Karl Kani on eBay or anything like that, because it's just good quality stuff.
Right. Tell me, what was the turning point in your career, or the point where it dawned on you, like, shit, this is actually happening. This is the biggest thing of my career right now.
Yeah, I think one of the first things that happened to me was when I had actually started hearing artists who I looked up to big time mention my name in their songs.
So that just happened?
Yes,
organically?
That just happened.
People you didn't know?
No, I didn't know none of them. Like Biggie was the first artist. Actually, MC Lyte was the first artist to mention my name in her song. She had her name song was Roughneck, which came out in like 94. When Biggie said it on his first album, Ready to Die, you know, he mentions, you know, recognize my D size and my Karl Kani jeans over 16s. You know what I mean? So like, when he said that, Biggie was the newest, biggest, dopest rapper from Brooklyn. Grew up for the next, like 15 minutes away from me, and when he said my name in the song, I was like, wow.
So I want to say like Tupac was like the first real brand ambassador of sorts of Karl Kani.
Definitely.
He was like, he put that in an ad, in a video. Tell me about that experience.
Tupac he's a special dude. That's all I could say. Like, he wore my clothes more than anybody else, and he never asked for free clothing. He bought it.
1996, you are labeled one of the top 100 richest black men in America.
Yeah.
What are you saying to me by People Magazine? Like, what is that? How old are you at this time?
I was like 28, I think, something like that.
What is that like for you?
I think it was cool. Again, like I've never.
It was cool.
Yeah, because I never really. I always thought about wanting more and getting better. Like I always wanted, like, at this time. Let me tell you, there's a whole nother coin to the story. When we first started, there were no black sales reps in the garment business. There were no black stylists. There was no stylists. There were no showrooms. There was none of that. It was none of this existed.
This is all groundbreaking.
None of it existed. I hired my friends from the hood to be my sales reps.
Right.
We hired all black people to represent my line. As I'm hiring all these people and we're doing these things, that's what it was about.
Right.
It's about uplifting the culture and uplifting what we were doing.
But at this point, you were far away from $1,000 in Crenshaw.
Yeah.
So what was life like at this time?
Oh, life was good. You know, we were chilling, and you know, we had all the luxuries that go along with it. But I don't know if those things meant a lot to me.
What did you do with your money at the time?
Buy cars, just invest in my business and take care of my moms, and just make sure the business was going. You know, this garment business is a very gambler's mentality business. Do you know what I mean? So you can make a lot, you can lose a lot, but if you're in it, you got to be in it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
And on that note, you had a beautiful ride. You had, you know, a wild ride, I would say, coming from the projects to then Crenshaw and now to Beverly Hills, and, you know, being named one of the richest black men. That is no small feat or journey. Yeah. But then after that, things started to change. So what was the turning point in where?
Yeah, well, we got into like this business is very there's a lot of obstacles in the business. We had, when my company and Cross Colors ended up running into a situation because Cross Colors oversaturated the market with their products, and they had one of the same account that gave us a $3 million oil, the merry-go-round, represented 90% of Cross Colors business, so they had a lot of open orders with them. So at one point they had like $30 million worth of orders in the system for Cross Colors, and as they ordered, Cross Colors used to make the goods for them, and then they cancel all the orders because they started having their own financial issues, merry-go-round.
Right.
As they cancel it, Cross Colors now stuck with all these goods in the warehouse, and we're all part of the same corporate structure. So they didn't have enough money to pay the banks back the money. A lot of this money, business was being financed by the banks, and the banks wanted their money. And the banks was like, okay, well, if you have the money, Karl Kani trademark and Cross Colors are assets of the company, and we're going to take those and we're going to sell it, and we're going to get our money back. Yeah, because they had the rights to do that. Right. And at this time, this white Jewish guy named Robert Greenberg that owned this company called Skechers. If it is a huge public company now, and Robert used to own LA Gear prior to that, and they had sold LA Gear. He got a couple $100 million from that, and Robert came to me and said, "Karl, look, you know, I really want to be in business with you, and I want to do your shoes, I want to do your footwear." I says, "Well, you know, we got this problem with the bank right now," and he's like, you know, "Don't worry out. Let me try to figure something out with this whole situation." So he's able to work a situation out with BNY, Bank of New York, and we able to pay them down the percentage of the 30 million, and I was able to get my brand trademarks out of that, and I was able to become licensing arrangement with Robert. This is before he started Skechers, and they were doing Karl Kani footwear. We're doing very well. We did a $43 million a year business. We had 15 NBA players wearing my sneakers on the basketball courts. Everything was going good. We think, oh man, this is great.
Karl then describes that he got a proposal to take the company public, but he decided he would not sign the papers, which caused strife between him and his then business partners. And that's when things started to spiral. Lawyers got involved, his money was tied up, and he couldn't produce any product.
And at this time, just all the competitors started coming on the market. You had Sean, John, Fubu, Fat Farm, Nietzsche. So they started taking all my market shares, and I couldn't put any product out there. I was battling with Robert and his team. That was a very, very low point, a very challenging time of our career, my life. Probably one of our lowest points, I think, because of the competition because dudes are taking my same exact look, same exact vibe, and killing my own stuff, and I couldn't do anything about it.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit. We're seeing a resurgence of Karl Kani, but this is after being out of the market for 8 years.
Yeah.
Why 8 years?
Well, we had challenges here, obviously, and the market changed. And there's a new young generation that grew up here, and they weren't into urban brands at all. They just kind of just went totally left. They went to skater brands, and I understand why that happened because a lot of kids don't want to wear the same brands their parents wore. So they kind of went to a different culture, a different vision, and we learned that. And you know, when one door shuts, another one opens. So we was mainly focused on the international market because, again, I accept each moment, and the international market wanted us really bad, but we weren't really giving a lot of attention. So when things here wasn't going the way we want, we said, okay, let's put our energies there then.
Right.
And those things are giving us all the benefits that we wanted, and I'm glad we did it because we're still the #1 streetwear brand in Germany, Japan.
So you didn't completely disappear for 8 years.
Oh,
You
no,
just
no.
redirected your...
Attention, yeah. We just in the USA market, you could say that we was kind of like obsolete here for a second because, mind you, back then, online shopping wasn't really big, and you had to depend on the retailers here, and the retailers here, they all follow each other. So one say you're not hot, the other say you're not hot. So, you know, so it got to be this whole thing of these retailers not really messing with us the way we wanted them to, not buy my full collection. So we had to find another route how to get our stuff out there. So the international market really opened us up.
Karl Kani had always been your identity.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you lost your identity at all?
No, because at that time I started doing new brands. We started like doing, because at that time I wanted to do more of a high-end brand. So people was like, oh, don't put your name on it because, you know, white people's not going to buy it because it's too street. So I started doing these brands called Live Life, Love Denim. I kept doing all these little small other brands, just keeping myself busy, just keep myself in the groove of the business. I never really lost my mindset of the business. I find other ways to keep myself active mentally to not lose my touch. But I did know one day eventually it would come back. I knew that. I didn't know when though.
So what was the point when you knew?
When Quavo sent me a DM from the Migos.
What did he say?
When
was this?
I still have it on my phone. It was like 2014, 2015. I still have it on my phone. He hit me up. He says, yo, bro, we want to get with you. Need some of that shit. And he says, yo, we want to be like Biggie and Pac. We want to blow your shit up like Biggie and Pac. That's exactly what he said. And I know exactly what he meant by that. And he's like, yo, we want to rock all that shit Biggie and Pac wore. Like, we that new Biggie and Pac. And we start making up stuff. He's like, yo, we love Biggie and Pac. Can you just make the stuff a little bit more fitted, though?
Because the big stuff is on a style.
Yeah, the big stuff. They wanted nostalgia, but they didn't want it as big.
Right.
So that was like a big turning point for me because Migos and them, they was that new young generation. And by him coming and asking for those things, it ignited me again.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, game on. Now I got it. 'Cause that's all I needed. One spark.
So now that it's back, what is the essence of Karl Kani now?
Yeah. Now the game is different for us now. Like now we want worldwide domination. Like, you know, our goals and our aspirations a lot bigger than what they were before, because now we see how important streetwear culture is to the world. We see how much all these top designers now taking our stuff and making it seem like they created it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, we just did a big collaboration with Etudes out of France, and the stuff was in Saks, Neiman's, and Barney's. And even when they hit us up, I was like, okay, why are they hitting me up? But now I get it. They all want to be legitimized by the streets. You know what I'm saying? So what we started is big, so much bigger now than it was back then. And now I see it. Now I see how popular our stuff is in Italy, in Germany, in Amsterdam, Switzerland, Australia. Like, all these kids are all into Karl Kani, and it's all about the history and the culture, and that you can never erase. That's one thing that money can't buy. You can have all the money in the world, money can't buy legacy, and it can buy history. Biggie, Tupac, Aaliyah, Michael Jackson, Old Dirty Bastard, all 5 icons are not here anymore. We're in one brand. No one else can do that, ever.
So who is Karl Kani, the man? Who are you? I
Legit,
know what you've done.
yeah. I'm just like extra legit, extra focused, extra locked in, and I trust the process, and I don't care what anybody thinks about that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like being on top of your game is the most important thing, and that's what I'm here for.
What is your purpose on this planet? Do you know?
My purpose on this planet is to continue to ask that question. Can I?
I like that. can I?
And the answer is yes, I can. Yes, you can. Yes, we all can. And I think about, you know, where we come from and all the things we've been through, and I think about how I was able to maneuver and know when to not engage with certain things and learn how to take losses too. I think that's important. You gotta learn how to take losses and scratch them off and keep it moving. And I think that once you can establish those things in your life, understand that life is about just making moves and keep being positive energy, and things will kind of come your way, and don't get too caught up on any bad situation may happen to you, because that's just chalk it up and charge it to the game and keep it moving. Yeah.
What's your biggest fear?
Failure. That's what scares me. That's what motivates me, and that's what gets me up every day, and that keeps me focused, and that keeps me on the grind, because I never want to be one of those guys where you say, well, what happened to this guy? He used to be so big, what happened to him? Like, no, I don't want to be that guy. And I don't want to be that. I'm scared. When I hear those stories, it scare me. I'm like, how did that happen to him? Like, he was so big, and what happened? What did he do wrong? Like,
I know.
No, that's not gonna happen. Like, I feel we're all born here. We're supposed to be kings and queens, and like, but you can't expect anything to be given to you, though.
What do you, and I feel like I know the answer to this, but what do you want to be remembered for?
Being the person that instill hope and open the doors up for many people in this industry, because I know what we went through. No one believed in us. No department stores wanted to carry our clothing. We just tore down the doors for everybody. We made them believe that you could be black, you could be from the streets, you could put your own name on clothing, and it's going to sell. So I want to remember this, that.
So what is the one thing, because you're very cool, collected, keep it real chill, what's the one thing, quirk, that nobody would know about you?
Man, I'm a jokester. Like, I like to tease people a lot. I like to call out their weak spots. I like to like tease people and see what their weaknesses are and make them better, I guess. I'm really good for that. Like,
really?
If I find a weak spot, so I want to point it out to you, because I
Oh
want
my
to see how
gosh.
you're gonna react to that. So I would say that I might get on people's nerves with that sometimes. I think I'm a prankster. Like, I like to, when I hang out with my friends, I like to like make them start arguing with each other. You know, so like just pick fights with each other.
Instigator.
Instigator.
Look
Just
at
have
that.
fun. I like to instigate them to have fun. And I'll
you.
sit in the back and act like I ain't do nothing. So I do that. But then, like, I think if anything, people would say that about me, that I like to instigate a lot of things. 'Cause that's how I have fun, because I'm so entrenched in my world. When I get out, I want to have fun. I want to see something get started. I want to people start joking with each other, and I'll break the ice real quick.
You're a troublemaker.
Yeah, I'm troublemaker. I've always been like that since young. I've always
Right.
been the one to get in trouble in school. Always got in trouble in school all the time.
If you could say one thing, if you could leave whatever's on your heart and tell somebody whatever's on your heart that you feel is important to say.
I would say that believing in yourself is the most important thing, that nothing in life is given to you, that this clothing business, there was no blueprint for us. There was nothing on a platter say this is how you do it. It was only about hard work and dedication and strong belief. And not every day thing is going to be your best day. And sometimes you got to will things into existence. Thinking big, thinking confident is everything in life. Like, if you could establish those things, you could get almost anything you want. Then you're on the right path.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was great.
All day, for sure.
Thank you for sharing this space with us. I hope that somewhere along the way you find value in the stories of our guests, that opens your hearts, inspires you, helps you uncover your own truth, or simply provoke deeper thoughts in your lives. Be sure to subscribe and join us here next time for another episode of Life and Lemonade.
All I really want is a place I could come back. I can't understand why the love when we need that. Yeah, yeah. Guess all I really want is a home that's have me back. You still got all of my love, I want you to know that.
This is Life and Lemonade.
Oh.